All right, so we got this Zohran Mamdani inauguration, mayor of New York City, with AOC, Bernie Sanders, and him. So it looks like we got the big commie three. Very exciting. I'm here for it. New York voted for this. And this is what they're going to get. Oh, look at them. Seems so sweet. About to potentially rob New York blind. Who knows? Look, I hope it works out. I mean, there's like some things I agree with him on, and I'm assuming he's going to probably talk about it here in the speech. And then there's other things I really just don't care for. Probably like a 20% agree, maybe like 15, but like 80% I don't really care for.
The Parks Department, the Department of Sanitation.
But we're gonna get a few people. I'm assuming. I think AOC speaks a little early here. Oh, Patriots.
Light, what dawns you see? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through
This guy's
the
killing it.
night that our flag was still there.
Wasn't that guy like in jail? The dude on the right of his wife? I'm not even trying to cap right now. He looked exactly like him. That or I have problems.
O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Well done. Well done. Beautiful. God bless his country.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, AOC. The bartender to congressman. What country is this?
My name is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Cortez.
And it is my deep honor and privilege to welcome you to the inauguration of our new mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani. We gather here today to celebrate
I wish I knew who that guy on the right was.
as well as that of two incredible elected officials who will be guiding the city by his side. Public Advocate Jumaane D. Williams.
I think that is him, right?
And our new controller, Mark D. Levine. We also celebrate the hundreds and thousands of public servants and city leaders getting to work today, from our sanitation workers and librarians to our commissioners, deputy mayors, and
I can't believe this is unfolding before us. This is going to be an interesting project to see what happens in New York.
In the coming weeks, months, and years. Together, this ascent marks a new era for New York City, led by a historic new mayor in Zohran Mamdani, guided.
Look, I'll give him credit that he's young, so he's definitely going to.
By his dedication to
he's definitely going to be good in that sense. That I'm all for. He's a young guy. Maybe he'll bring some good change with that.
I also ask that we consider today an inauguration for each one of us, too. The nearly 8.5 million New Yorkers who make up the greatest city on earth.
Chicago is.
Because it is the people of New York City who have chosen historic, ambitious leadership in response to untenable and unprecedented times. New York, we have chosen courage over fear. We have chosen prosperity for the many over spoils for the few.
Typical socialist quote. They love doing that crap.
And when the entrenched ways would rather have us dig in our feet and seek refuge in the past, we have chosen instead to turn towards making a new future for all of us.
It's a lot of talk.
In Zohran Mamdani, we have chosen a mayor who is relentlessly dedicated to making life not just possible, but aspirational for working people. New York City has chosen the ambitious pursuit of universal childcare.
I mean, I'm not necessarily against that.
Affordable rent and housing.
Not a bad idea. Problem is, it's gonna help. It's gonna pretty much take a lot of the existing like homes that are already on the market. It's just gonna make those homes more expensive, especially if they do rent controlling, which is what New York is currently facing with right now, is the fact that there's a lot of rent control apartments. Same thing as California and LA. They have a lot of rent control over there. So in theory that can be good rent stabilization, but we haven't seen it really work too great.
And clean and dignified public transit for all.
Yeah, I'm here for the public transit.
Over the distractions of bigotry and the barbarism of extreme income
Blech.
inequality.
Blech. Why they gotta throw bigotry in there? Like, it's like you just put a filler word in. Like, I agree with the wealth inequality, but just get rid of the fucking mumbo jumbo.
We have chosen this path because we know that it's the right thing to do. It's the smart thing to do. And that if we
court's
can
on
make
that
it
one.
Here,
Court's still out on
we
that.
can make it anywhere. New York City, this is an inauguration for all of us. Because choosing this mayor and this vision is an ambitious pursuit. It calls on all of us to return to public life en masse. Now is the time for us to turn towards our neighbors, stand with them, and return to community life. A city for all.
I mean, I can be
require
for
all
that.
of us to fill our streets, our schools, our houses of faith, our PTAs and our block associations as we support this mayor in making an affordable city a reality for all of us. Zohran Mamdani will be the first Muslim mayor of our great city.
Oh boy.
He will be
Can't
our
wait for
first
that.
immigrant mayor in over a century.
Yeah. Yeah, my point blank opinion on that. Should never have a foreign-born be an elected official. That needs to that rule needs to get patched real quick. Like, we need to release the 1.2 for that pretty quick now, because it's going to get worse. I mean, anybody who's watched the United Kingdom with all these Muslim mayors, like, we can see what happened over there and go, do we want to do that? No. Now, look, nothing against the individual person, because I'm sure he's probably a really nice guy. But it's the Quran I have general an issue with. And look, you don't need me right now to sit here and ramble about the Quran. I can do that all day. You may catch me doing that later in the video, depending on what he says. But yeah, it's very hard for me as a Christian to agree with the Quran and everything as a whole. Even though Muslims do have a lot of Christian beliefs in their own way, they do believe in Jesus. They just don't believe he's the main prophet. So that's why, like, there's a lot of things that I do share, right? Like, I can share similarities. I'm more than willing and able to break bread with the Muslim. They're good people overall. There's a lot of great ones. But when it comes to their book, that's where I tend to question. I don't really understand, and I'm not really a big fan of the Prophet Muhammad personally. So yeah, and I do question America, in my opinion, is a Christian country. We are founded off Christian ideals and Christian beliefs. Even though people may be an atheist, which is totally okay, even though I would love everyone to come to the kingdom of Christ, But if you don't want to come to Christ, that's fine. You still have a lot of Christian values, even as an atheist. So that's kind of like my quick little like gist on it, is that yes, we share a lot with Muslims, but there's a lot of things in their book that aren't necessarily a good. You could talk about Aisha with the 9-year-old. You could talk about what he walked around and what was on his clothing. The fact that it was founded 600 years after Christianity. I mean, yes, it takes a lot from Christianity, but it's very different in its way. And it's like, oh yeah, Jesus is great and all, but listen to me, I'm the Prophet Muhammad. Do not question me. You cannot question. They talk about infidels. Muhammad was a conqueror, a war conqueror. I mean, Jesus didn't do that. Jesus didn't kill people. Jesus didn't go conquer people, right? I don't want to keep. I should probably make a separate video on it. Maybe one day if I find a good video about it, I will. But there's just some things I don't overall agree with, and that's where then, yeah, when someone tends to be religious, I do question their foundations and their beliefs. And in America, being a Christian country, we should consider that. That's all. There's a lot of history of Muslims where it hasn't gone always that great. I just did a video on Iran, and we can see now the people are uprising there. So we have to be careful now with this. This may be potentially, not potentially, it is becoming an ideological question that we need to start having. That's all.
And he will be the youngest mayor of New York City in generations.
I think that's cool, the fact that he's a young mayor. I do think that's cool.
Zohran will be a mayor for all of us.
If it works out, great. Everyone benefits.
Let us extend our deepest well wishes and support to Zohran, his wife Rama, and his family, as well as those of our public advocate Jumani Williams and controller Mark Levine. We send you, your spouses and families, and all your loved ones all the support in the world as you embark on this great pursuit of a better city and future for all. Felicidades.
New York's Andrew Wilkes, Reverend Stephen Green, Elder Jeffrey Sardit,
Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Arham Rahimin, most merciful of those who show mercy, we turn to you on this day from our city with hopeful hearts. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for the amazing, but united in purpose, stitched together by shared hopes, all yearning to build something meaningful, like the few, but not arrive on their own. They are accused to accept, come knowing that this day stands, their demand was possible. Organizing against displacement, by futures, by communities today with ways desperate on crowded Blaze City. We thank you for New York City. Rival can be being a place that taught us that a young and brave enough to win. Not by abandoning who he is, but by trusting that authenticity of this city. For a people, culture, fear, nation, and strengthens our ask service. Leadership is not about power, but about proximity to the people.
Very diverse.
People who struggle, to the voices to have too little. Remembered past struggles and recognize push to the margins.
Oh my God, bro is just
to keep the city alive. Heal what has been cynicism with justice in this world. Let impossible become the standard by which we measure our belief in one another. Few, but for the all. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Well done. Well done, Imam. Well done.
They say similar things. I believe he was the Muslim. The Muslim, I'm trying to find the word for him. I don't know why I'm brain farting right now. I do that from time to time. He's like their priest or I don't want to say rabbi or whatever it's called, but it's like it sounds very similar to Christians in some ways. It just I do question the overall intentions of it because how their book commands them to conquer and how their book commands them to lie and deceive, to try to manipulate systems. That's where I just, as an American, I do get a little worried. Now, it's not some 9/11 type, oh, wow, they just hate all Muslims. No, I think the people, there's a lot of individuals that are great people. I can question the theology. I just question it a little bit. Just,
by the fifth grade
I don't know.
Of
It's interesting.
Island's PS 22 chorus.
Look at Turkey.
Greg Breinberg, and
look how it's treated Christians.
Ben Davis.
So this is just some old guy. Looks like he's going to be singing. Don't care.
Job is about ensuring that people
don't care.
So here we are.
Don't care. Don't care.
Into a united community is impossible.
Oh, this is
identities. Status place would rather create an other. Everybody out here, thank y'all. Peace and blessing, love and light as we begin a new term, a new era for New York City. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank Amadou and these inspiring families for being here at this ceremony in New York. I'm a son of immigrants myself. My parents came over from Grenada over 50 years ago. I was just sworn in on my late father's Bible. My mother is here today. I'm so proud to have my family and my wife and my children and my sister and my mom, everyone standing with theirs. Their stories perfectly capture this moment for the city. The challenges we face, the hardships we endure, and the hope that persists. Those realities are often in tension because this is a time and a place of contradictions. One where even as the federal government drives us to despair, local leadership can invite inspiration. When this
we're going to see this New York government really fight ICE this upcoming year.
All is only blocks from tribulation at Federal Plaza. When the relief that these families are still united comes as so many are being separated. And this sense of contradiction carries across the fight.
Send them all home. You shouldn't be here. Don't resist the federal government. And if the New York people do decide to resist the federal government, we should hold them accountable. Plain and simple.
This is a city of enormous wealth and enduring poverty, of the greed of some and the generosity of many, of darkness and of light. And I've seen the darkness, of course, yet I look out on New York today and I see so much light. These contradictions mean we can at once love our city as it is and challenge its flaws, not as a reason for pessimism, but a call for activism. As public advocate, I've tried.
Governor of New York. She was Andrew Cuomo's, there's like the step below the attorney something, whatever her name was, wherever her old title was, but she was under Cuomo, and then he got allegations and then had to leave.
To be an activist elected official, someone who pushes back. Now I see the chance to push forward. To provide accountability aimed at the ideal that government has an opportunity and an obligation to do good.
I mean, I agree with that.
And progressivism is the principle of making government work and showing people it can work for them. That means we need to meet people where they are, also show grace instead of ignoring what brought them there, and be honest about why.
Yeah, but we have to make sure we hold people accountable to the law, right? We don't want people breaking the rules. We don't want people selling crap on the streets. We don't want people just being criminals in general. So I'm all for like government helping out, but I hope the government actually, or in this case the New York government, actually decides to help out and doesn't just fight the federal government or Donald Trump on every stupid shit.
The powers in place would rather create an other to blame for our problems than to address them. Whether it be our immigrant
they are
communities,
addressing them.
Our trans siblings, our homeless neighbors, or too many other marginalized groups.
Democrats don't care about the homeless, so we already know that. But at the same time, see how they always like go to like, oh, the trans, right? Like, gotta lump them. So now it's immigrants and trans. Now they're both getting lumped into the same category. You know, they always like to do these, in my opinion, dumb emotional arguments. Like, yeah, like my family are immigrants too. Okay, just like most Americans that enter this country. But we entered through the right place. There was a legal door, right? We all got through the front door. It's just how we got in. We let millions of people in illegally. That's caused a lot of issues. New York looks night and day difference. I've been to New York before COVID. It was beautiful. It could have been better, but it was great. I mean, compared to what it is now, night and day difference.
Rejecting those ideas means naming the reason that the powers in place perpetuate them. Because if we are divided, the status quo stands.
I agree with if we're divided, then what's currently going on stands. That's why now more than ever, we need to potentially stand up to dumb ideology. And yeah, this guy is saying some good things that I agree with, but you can just tell right away based on his tone that we're going to be getting a whole battle here on immigration. And that's where people like him need to get held accountable if that's going to be the case, right? If they're going to do that, we need them to be held accountable, personally.
Whether you arrived in our city
But hey, he just got here, right? He's just getting sworn in. So we don't know what's going to happen. I hope it works out. I hope New York is very successful because I'm always pro-America at the end of the day. I don't know what people thought about this one, but we'll get to his speech in a little bit. Because I think we still got Bernie, so we heard enough of this guy. The Bernster.
From coast to coast, for this, and I'm here mostly to thank the people of New York City.
Oh boy.
At a time in our country's history when we are seeing too much hatred, too much divisiveness, and too much injustice, thank you for electing Zohran Mamdani as your mayor. New York, thank you for inspiring our nation. Thank you for giving us.
He definitely was the Trump pick, right? Like Mamdani definitely was the fuck you to the establishment. It definitely was, for sure.
From coast to coast, the hope and the vision that we can create government that works for all, not just the wealthy and the few.
Bernie, how much money you made on Big Pharma, dog? Come on. Don't do that.
When people in America, and in fact throughout the
biggest
world,
socialist, made a lot of money.
Faith in democracy. Over 90,000 of you in this city volunteered for Zohran's campaign.
That's a huge turnout. I mean, that's a lot of turnout.
You knocked on doors. You shared your dreams and your hopes for the future of this city. And in the
if it's still there in a few years, who knows? If he runs it to the ground.
Democratic establishment.
Ooh, got some goosebumps there.
The Republican establishment. The President of the United States. And some enormously wealthy oligarchs.
Bro, what does that make you?
And you defeated them in the biggest political upset in modern American history.
No, that was 2016, bud. Sorry. I know you don't want to talk about that one, Bernie, but it was 2016.
You showed the world the most important lesson that can be learned today. And that is that when working people stand together, when we don't let them divide us up,
dude,
there is
I hate this Democrats working people's argument. It's just not true. Not anymore, at least. They used to be the party of the working class. They're just not anymore.
A great and winning campaign was extremely difficult. But governing a city of 8 million people with all of its complexities and all of the problems that Zohran is inheriting will be even harder. Zohran needed your help to win the election. Now he will need your help to govern. Grassroots democracy and people participating in the day-to-day struggles of this city will lead to good governance. Please remain involved. You know, all of us have heard how Zohran's opponents have called the agenda that he campaigned on radical, communistic,
Facts.
and absolutely unachievable.
Don't know if it's unachievable,
Really?
but I question some of the financials of it.
That's not what we believe. In the richest country in the history of the world, making sure that people can live in affordable housing is not radical.
Well, I agree with that. I mean, yeah,
It is
we
the
want
right
that.
and decent thing to do. And in the midst of a massive housing crisis, it is exactly what the people of this city and this country want.
If he can
and
fix
need.
the housing crisis, that would be a good thing.
Providing free and high-quality childcare is not radical.
I actually do believe that childcare should be free. We should actually try to benefit. Ideally, the economy gets good enough to where one parent can stay home. Ideally, the mother, just because I feel like the woman hasn't had really the choice to make the decision to work or not. She had her at-home choice taken away from her because financially, if couples want to survive, they need both parents to work. So if this is another solution, I'd rather try to get the one parent back into the household. I believe that's the ultimate solution because I believe that is the best for the child ultimately. But at the same time, I do believe that that's a good idea. I think Nevada or one of those West Coast states has something like that where free childcare, which that should be free childcare. Makes sense to me.
Countries all over the world have done it for years. It is what our kids require if they're going to be well prepared for school and what working parents desperately need. It is, in fact, what every city in America should be doing. Free bus transportation is not radical.
No, that's not a bad
It
idea.
will save workers time and money, protect our environment, and make the city more efficient. And making sure that every family in the city,
Just if we can
regardless
afford
of
it.
income, has access to decent quality food at an affordable cost is not radical.
Kansas did attempt to do the regulated price capped grocery stores. Didn't quite work out well. They had to close those, and they did do the free buses, and that did stop. So we've seen these happen before. They usually don't work out. New York now does make a lot of money. I don't know how I know he's going to raise the corporate tax, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, depending on how. I think it's going from 2%, 3% to 5%. I'm not necessarily against that. I mean, if corporations do pay their fair share, if the rich do pay their fair share, I mean, because you look at 1950s America, the rich were paying a lot of taxes. Same as corporations, they're paying a lot in taxes, 70, 80% or whatever. So there's two ways to look at it, right? One of America's best economic times was when corporations did pay a lot of taxes and when the rich did pay a fair share of taxes, or at least more fairly. And, we have seen a lot of tax cuts across the entire board. So I do agree with some of the sentiments on what he's saying. I just disagree potentially on how we get there.
Good nutrition keeps us healthy, helps prevent chronic illnesses. In the long run, city-sponsored grocery stores will save society money. Lastly, and maybe most importantly, demanding that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes.
It ain't just that blatant though. Like they're all like, yeah, tax the rich, but it's like it's not that simple. I don't like how he's smiling. Creeps me out.
As I was saying,
seems fake.
Demanding that the wealthy and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes is not radical. It is exactly the right thing to do.
Bernie, what about you, buddy? You pay your fair share of taxes?
Today,
I hope you do.
While over 60% of our people in New York,
like
people in
he literally did a tax the rich chant, and he's part of that group that they're talking about. I don't know why. I just feel like that's just hypocritical.
Vermont, people all over this country are living paycheck to paycheck. We have more income and wealth inequality than we have ever had.
Okay, I did that. That he's right
While
about.
Tens of millions struggle to put food on the table, pay for health care, pay for housing, the top 1% have never, ever had it so good.
He's 100% right there.
And yet, there are billionaires and large corporations that pay almost nothing in taxes. That has got to end. That will end.
He's right there. I don't know if it's going to end, but he's right there.
The billionaire class in this city and in this country have got to understand that in America, they cannot have it all.
Bernie would have probably been president in 16, man. If the Democrats didn't cancel him.
To all of us, not just a few. And that lesson begins today in New York City. Let me thank you all over this country. You may.
On the Quran.
Please repeat after me. I, Zohran Mamdani.
I, Zohran Mamdani.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
The Constitution of the State of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And the Charter of the City of New York.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties.
Of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York.
Of the office of the Mayor of the City of New York.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Very powerful moment, very exciting. The now newly elected mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, youngest ever elected mayor in New York, I believe they said. I mean, that's cool, though. I'm happy he's a young guy. It's better than some old fuck. No offense, guys. No offense. You guys do bring up a lot of good ideas, and I do believe there's good old people there in Congress, but it's refreshing to get a young guy. Whoa! 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 So people are going to get mad at Elon for that, and look at...
My fellow New Yorkers.
Just saying.
Today begins a new era. I stand before you, moved by the privilege of taking this sacred oath.
He's a good suit on, I will admit.
By the faith
kept it classy, good jacket.
And honored to serve as either your 111th or 112th mayor of New York City. But I do not stand alone. I stand alongside you, the tens of thousands of you gathered here in Lower Manhattan, warmed against the January chill by the resurgent flame of hope. I stand alongside countless more New Yorkers watching from cramped kitchens in Flushing and barbershops in East New York, from cell phones propped against the dashboards of parked taxicabs at LaGuardia.
LaGuardia is trash.
Haven and libraries in El Barrio that have too long known only neglect. I stand alongside construction workers in steel-toed boots and halal cart vendors whose knees ache from working all day. I stand alongside neighbors who carry a plate of food to the elderly couple down the hall, those in a rush who still lift strangers' strollers up subway stairs, and every person who makes the choice day after day, even when it feels impossible, to call our city home. I stand alongside over 1 million New Yorkers who voted for this day nearly 2 months ago. And I stand just as resolutely alongside those who did.
I gotta admit, he's a good speaker. I gotta admit, good speaker. I always had that thought about it, but I don't think I've ever said it in my video, or ever when I talked about this. I don't think I have yet. But no, he's a good speaker, man. I got to give the guy the credit on that. And that's where I think having young people will be good, is that we'll be getting just a different energy that we haven't gotten for. Like, I hope, like, I know I've had my criticisms in this video about him. I mean, for the sake of America, I hope he does a good job, because obviously if he does a good job, that means the people of New York are benefited. And I'm sure there's going to be some good things he will bring out. You know, there's things that I agreed with Bernie on. And I do think if he can tackle some of the housing issues, if he can help make some of the good, because I do agree fundamentally that we are the biggest country in the world. We should be paying for some things, or at least our government should be responsible to an extent to pay for some things. I do believe in private sectors. I do believe in the private citizen figuring things out, you know, lifting up themselves. But at some point, there needs to be some assistance.
Not. I know there are some who view this administration with distrust or disdain, or who see politics as permanently broken. And while only action can change minds, I promise you this: if you are a New Yorker, I am your mayor. To Governor Hochul, thank you as well to Mayor Adams. Dorothy's son,
they boo him?
Brownsville, who rose from washing dishes to the highest position in our city, for being here as well. He and I have had our share of disagreements, but I will always be touched that he chose me as the mayoral candidate that he would most want to be trapped with on an elevator. Thank you to the two titans who, as an assembly member, I've had the privilege of being represented by in Congress, Nidia Velázquez, and our incredible opening speaker, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
You have paved the way for this
The
moment.
Wicked Witch of the West.
Thank you to the man whose leadership I seek most to emulate, who I am so grateful to be sworn in by today, Senator Bernie Sanders.
The Communist Manifesto right there, guys.
Thank you to my teams, from the assembly to the campaign to the transition, and now the team I am so excited to lead from City Hall. Thank you to my parents, Mama and Baba, for raising me, for teaching me how to be in this world, and for having brought me to this city. Thank you to my family from Kampala to Delhi. And thank you to my wife, Rama. For being my best friend and for always showing me the beauty in everyday things. And most of all, thank you to the people of New York. A moment like this comes rarely. Seldom do we hold such an opportunity to transform and reinvent. Rarer still is it the people themselves whose hands are the ones upon the levers of change. And yet we know that too often in our past, moments of great possibility have been promptly surrendered to small imagination and smaller ambition. What was promised was never pursued. What could have changed remained the same. For the New Yorkers most eager to see our city remade, the weight has only grown heavier. The weight has only grown longer. In writing this address, I have been told that this is the occasion to reset expectations, that I should use this opportunity to encourage the people of New York to ask for little and expect even less. I will do no such thing.
He's just going to raise your taxes.
The only expectation I seek to reset is that of small expectations. Beginning today, we will govern expansively and audaciously. We may not always succeed, but never will we be accused of lacking the courage to try.
Fair enough.
To those who insist that the era of big government is over, hear me when I say this. No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power to improve New Yorkers' lives.
That's actually a good point. I hope he does. I mean, I think we do need to see some government actually step in and help people out. I do. I mean, I'm not as big on government as like some are, but to some extent I do believe that government does need to step in there because they are the only ones that can really stand up to corporations and stand up to big business in some areas. Just some areas that are monopolies or areas that workers need to get better rights and protections. Like that's where the government's supposed to step in and help. Fair enough.
For too long, we have turned to the private sector for greatness while accepting mediocrity from those who serve the public. I cannot blame anyone who has come to question the role of government, whose faith in democracy has been eroded by decades of apathy. We will restore that trust by walking a different path, one where government is no longer solely the final recourse for those struggling, one where excellence is no longer the exception. We expect greatness from the cooks wielding 1,000 spices, from those who stride out onto our Broadway stages, and from our starting point guard at Madison Square Garden. Let us demand the same from those who work in government. In a city where the mere names of our streets are associated with the innovation of the industries that call them home, we will make the word City Hall synonymous with both resolve and results. As we embark upon this work, let us advance a new question, a new answer to the question asked of every generation. Who does New York belong to? For much of our history, the response from City Hall has been simple. It belongs only to the wealthy and well-connected, those who never strain to capture the attention of those in power. Working people have reckoned with the consequences. Crowded classrooms and public housing developments where the elevators sit out of orders. Roads littered with potholes and buses that arrive half an hour late, if at all.
He's right about both of those. And if he can fix those, good on him. I mean, and those are what people are, like those simple things are what people are asking to get help. They just want to get fixed. That's what they want. And it's not getting done. And if the government can step in there and do a good job, if the right people are there, then yeah, it could do a good job. You just got to hope you pick the right people.
Wages that do not rise and corporations that rip off consumers and employees alike. And still,
speaking a lot of truth here.
Brief, fleeting moments where the equation changed. 12 years ago, Bill de Blasio stood where I stand now as he promised to put an end to economic and social inequalities that divided our city into two. In 1990, David Dinkins swore the same oath I swore today.
He was like,
vowing
ouch.
to celebrate the gorgeous mosaic that is New York, where every one of us is deserving of a decent life. And nearly 6 decades before him, Fiorella LaGuardia took office with the goal of building a city
that's what the airport's named after.
Far greater and more beautiful for the hungry and the poor. Some of these mayors achieved more success than others, but they were unified by a shared belief that New York could belong to more than just a privileged few. It could belong to those who operate our subways and rake our parks, those who feed us biryani and beef patties, picanha and pastrami on rye. And they know that this belief could be made true if only government dared to work hardest for those who work hardest. Over the years to come, my administration will resurrect that legacy. City Hall will deliver an agenda of safety, affordability, and abundance, where government looks
It all
and lives
sounds
like
good,
the people
but
it
who
represents,
knows what's going to happen?
never flinches in the fight against corporate greed, and refuses to cower before challenges that others have deemed too complicated. In so doing, we will provide our own answer to that age-old question: who does New York belong to? Well, my friends, we can look to Madiba and the South African Freedom Charter. New York belongs to all who live in it. Together, we will tell a new story of our city. This will not be a tale of one city governed only by the 1%, nor will it be a tale of two cities, the rich versus the poor. It will be a tale of 8.5 million cities, each of them a New Yorker with hopes and fears, each a universe, each of them woven together. The authors of this story will speak Pashto and Mandarin, Yiddish and Creole. They will pray in mosques, at shul, at church, at gurudwaras and mandirs and temples.
We speak English here.
And many will not pray at all. They will be Russian Jewish immigrants in Brighton Beach, Italians in Rossville, and Irish families in Woodhaven, many of whom came here with nothing but a dream of a better life, a dream which has withered away. They will be young people in cramped Marble Hill apartments where the walls shake when the subway passes. They will be black homeowners in St. Albans, whose homes represent a physical testament to triumph over decades of lesser paid labor and redlining. They will be Palestinian New Yorkers in Bay Ridge, who will no longer have to contend with a politics that speaks of universalism and then makes them the exception. Few of these 8.5 million will fit into neat and easy boxes. Some will be voters from Hillside Avenue or Fordham Road who supported President Trump a year before they voted for me, tired of being failed by their party's establishment.
GOP's fucking
will not
up.
use the language that we often expect from those who wield influence. I welcome the change. For too long, those fluent in the good grammar of civility have deployed decorum to mask agendas of cruelty. Many of these people have been betrayed by the established order. But in our administration, their needs will be met. Their hopes and dreams and interests will be reflected transparently in government. They will shape our future. And if for too long these communities have existed as distinct from one another, we will draw this city closer together. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. If our campaign demonstrated that the people of New York yearn for solidarity,
I mean, individualism is a very, like, I mean, there is a lot of good things to that.
Because no matter what you eat, how you pray, or where you come from, the words that most define us are the two we all share: New Yorkers.
Yes, I believe that everyone from everywhere is always accepted and everything is good, sure, whatever. But there definitely is places where they're not the same as us. There's definitely religions do not share common beliefs. There's definitely things that people can represent that aren't necessarily good for us. And obviously, I mean, his speech is actually pretty good so far. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's having a bad speech. There's a lot of things in here that I agree with. There's only been really a handful of things that I've been like, oh, well, eh. But still, you know, I understand that they got to put this, you know, I think we're going to see the biggest fight is on immigration. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. We're not Immigration is going to be very tough to
And
get done in this
New
city.
Yorkers who reform a long broken property tax system. New Yorkers who will create a new Department of Community Safety that will tackle the mental health crisis and let the police focus on
We
the
do
job
have a mental
they
health
signed up to
crisis.
do. New Yorkers who will take on the bad landlords who mistreat their tenants and free small business owners from the shackles of bloated bureaucracy. And I am proud to be one of those New Yorkers. When we won the primary last June, there were many who said
I had a
these
Kalsha app on
aspirations
that.
and those who
Made
held
money
them
on 'em.
had come out of nowhere. Yet one man's nowhere is another man's somewhere. This movement came out of 8.5 million somewheres. Taxi cab depots and Amazon warehouses, DSA meetings and curbside domino games. The powers that...
I mean, Mamdani's reach was definitely great. The way he used the internet, the way he used his door-to-door work, he just did a great job connecting to the people. He just did. And he got people who were even Trump supporters voted for him. Because, I mean, I voted for Trump, and I can sit here and go, yeah, there's definitely some things he's saying that's good. And look, if he gets them done, great. I don't know how he's going to pay for half of this shit, and that's still waiting to be seen. And I guess, you know, the simple answer is always taxes and stuff, but that can only go so far. New York does already have pretty high taxes, and that's why people are leaving. And, like, even if you do increase taxes, you're still going to get rich people leaving anyway, and you're taxing their base more. So they're more able than not to leave because of their wealth. They can move anywhere they want. It doesn't matter to them. So, again, his ideas sound good. Things sound good here. I'm not entirely opposed it, but I'm just curious on some of the finances.
Looked away from these places for quite some time if they'd known about them at all. So they dismissed them as nowhere. But in our city, where every corner of these 5 boroughs holds power, there is no nowhere and there is no one. There is only New York and there are only New Yorkers. 8.5 million New Yorkers will speak this new era into existence. It will be loud. It will be different. It will feel like the New York we love. No matter how long you have called this city home, that love has shaped your life. I know that it has shaped mine. This is the city where I set land speed records on my Razor scooter at the age of 12. Quickest 4 blocks of my life. The city where I ate powdered donuts at halftimes during AYSO soccer games and realized I probably was not going to be going.
He's an Arsenal fan, and so am I, so we have that in common.
2 big slices at Coronet's Pizza. Played cricket with my friends at Ferry Point Park. And took the 1 train to the BX10 only to still show up late to Bronx Science. The city where I have gone on hunger strike just outside these gates. Sat claustrophobic on a stalled N train just after Atlantic Avenue and waited in quiet terror for my father to emerge from 26 Federal Plaza. The city where I took a beautiful woman named Rama to McCarran Park on our first date and swore a different oath to become an American citizen on Pearl Street. To live in New York, to love New York, is to know that we are the stewards of something without equal in our world. Where else can you hear the sound of the steel pan, savor the smell of sancocho, and pay $9 for coffee on the same block? Where else could a Muslim kid like me grow up eating bagels and lox every Sunday? That love will be our guide as we pursue our agenda. Here, where the language of the New Deal was born, we will return the vast resources of this city to the workers who call it home. Not only will we make it possible for every New Yorker to afford a life they love once again, we will overcome the isolation that too many feel and connect the people of this city to one another. The cost of childcare will no longer discourage young adults from starting a family.
Maybe I hope that works
because
out.
we will deliver universal child care for the many by taxing the wealthiest few.
See, again, a lot of it's going to be done with taxes,
Those in
which
rent-stabilized homes will no longer dread the latest rent hike because we will freeze the rent.
that's gonna. I don't know about that one.
Worrying about a fare hike or whether you'll be able to get to your destination on time will no longer be deemed a small miracle because we will make those buses fast and free.
If it's free and there's no money, I don't know how it's going to be.
About the costs we make free.
You know, I'm hoping it works out, but I don't know.
Freedom. For too long in our city, freedom has belonged only to those who can afford to buy it.
That's true.
Our city hall will change that. These promises carried our movement to City Hall, and they will carry us from the rallying cries of a campaign to the realities of a new era in politics. 2 Sundays ago, as snow softly fell, I spent 12 hours at the Museum of the Moving Image in Astoria, listening to New Yorkers from every borough as they told me about the city that is theirs. We discussed construction hours on the Van Wyck Expressway and EBT eligibility, affordable housing for artists and ice raids.
Bro's about to go to bed.
I spoke to a man named TJ who said that one day a few years ago, his heart broke as he realized that he would never get ahead here, no matter how hard he worked. I spoke to a Pakistani auntie named Samina, who told me that this movement had fostered something too rare: softness in people's hearts. As she said to me in Urdu, "Logo ke dil badal gaye hain."
We speak English here.
142 New Yorkers out of 8.5 million. And yet, if anything united each person sitting across from me, it was the shared recognition that this moment demands a new politics and a new approach to power. We will deliver nothing less as we work each day to make this city belong to more of its people than it did the day before. Here is what I want you to expect from the administration that this morning moved into the building behind
All right,
me.
let's get the checklist. Get your notes out.
We will transform the culture of City Hall from one of no to one of how. We will answer to all New Yorkers, not to any billionaire or oligarch who thinks they can buy our democracy. We will govern without shame and insecurity, making no apology for what we believe. I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist.
Oh boy. Well, of course, all the commies are excited about that.
I will not abandon my principles for fear of being deemed radical. As the great senator from Vermont once said, what's radical is a system which gives so much to so few and denies so many people the basic necessities of life.
Bernie looks like a proud dad right now, I'm not going to lie. He looks a little cold, though. He wants to get inside.
Of any one of those basic necessities. And throughout it all, we will, in the words of Jason Terrence Phillips, better known as Jadakiss or Jay to the Moi, be outside. Because this is a government of New York, by New York, and for New York. Before I end, I want to ask all of you, if you are able, whether you are here today or anywhere watching, to stand with me. I ask you to stand with us now and every day that follows. City Hall will not be able to deliver on our own. And while we will encourage New Yorkers to demand more from those with the great privilege of serving them, we will encourage you to demand more of yourselves as well. The movement we began over a year ago did not end with our election. It will not end this afternoon. It lives on with every battle we will fight together. Every blizzard and flood we withstand together. Every moment of fiscal challenge we overcome with ambition, not austerity, together. Every way we pursue change in working people's interests rather than at their expense, together. No longer will we treat victory as an invitation to turn off the news. From today onwards, we will understand victory very simply. Something with the power to transform lives, and something that demands effort from each of us every single day. What we achieve together will reach across the 5 boroughs, and it will resonate far beyond. There are many who will be watching. They want to know if the left can govern. They want to know if the struggles that afflict them can be solved. They want to know if it is right to hope again. So standing together with the wind of purpose at our backs, we will do something that New Yorkers do better than anyone else. We will set an example for the world. If what Sinatra said is true, let us prove that anyone can make it in New York and anywhere else too. Let us prove that when a city belongs to the people, there is no need too small to be met, no person too sick to be made healthy, no one too alone to feel like New York is their home. The work continues. The work endures. The work, my friends, has only just begun. Thank you.
There he is with the Hitler salute again. There it is again. Look, obviously there was a lot of things he said that were pretty good. I'm not going to even lie. Him talking about the housing problem, him talking about his free buses, him talking about child health care, all very good things, and I do hope they work out in some way. We all know that he was going to be talking about how he's going to tax everyone, how that's going to be the thing. Again, I'm a little nervous on just taxing the rich because people would just leave your state. And when New York raised their taxes already beforehand, there's already been noticeable evidence of that. So I'm a little curious how he's going to start paying for everything. I am definitely worried on the immigration part. Obviously, not the biggest fan of him being a Muslim. But at the same time, if he doesn't show policy like that, then look, I'm okay with letting that be. But he said a lot of good things, and I don't want to be like too negative because he had a really good speech. He sounded pretty good, and I always knew he was a good talker, and that's how it was just going to be. And now you got the crazy people just balling up in New York now. I mean, we knew that AOC, Bernie Sanders, and all them were going to be part of this huge staged event. I mean, this was the only reason why they kept the government shut down, just to really get him elected, to show that the Republicans are bad at governing, and they're proving it. And if the Republicans really want to get their shit together, they should look at New York as an example of like, well, this could... I don't think that a Republican would have won New York, but you could have gotten someone there who better aligned with you. I am curious in how he's going to handle immigration, and based on some of the earlier speeches from him, I feel like they're going to definitely fight the federal government on that. We're probably not going to see a lot of support from New York City on that. I am curious how he's going to be, working with the police, if he is going to defund them. He said he wasn't, but look, we don't know what's going to happen here. I'm not too confident on the rent stabilization. I don't know if that's going to work out. I don't think the grocery stores are going to work out very well. But hey, I could be proven wrong with all this. He could be this insane success. I mean, we don't know. I personally don't have too many hopes. My hopes not really that high on him. But he did speak to a lot of what Gen Z was really going for. And he mentioned hope. He said a lot of people do feel hopeless, and I do agree with that. There's a lot of people out there who feel hopeless. And I do think it's refreshing as finally seeing some younger faces there. He's very energetic. He knows how to talk. I mean, look, he had a good speech. He really did. I thought he did a good job in that sense. So, yeah, If you guys like these style videos more, if you want to see them, I appreciate the support. Obviously, drop a like. If you guys like what I do, subscribe to the channel. That always helps, grow my account and lets me know kind of what's hot, what's not, and, just helps me grow a good community here. Yeah, there's some good points to this, some negative points that we could talk about, but overall, this was really interesting. And I'm definitely happy to see more of these as time goes on. So we'll be able to kind of see what happens with New York, and we can kind of study and watch it and hope it works out. But right now we have the next mayor of New York City, so we'll see if it works out. Who knows? But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate all the support and the good comments I've been getting. Appreciate all the love from everyone. So be good, be safe. Hope everyone had a fantastic new year. I'm ready to take 2026 and let's just keep going and making content and videos and having a good time here. We're all watching this together. So, all right, guys, appreciate it. Have a good one. Be safe.